Let's be real, the world's not exactly calming down anytime soon. That's why personal safety is non-negotiable. More and more people are waking up to that fact, which means everyday carry is on the rise. And that's a good thing, but like anything worth doing, it's got to be done right. We're not talking about just strapping on any old piece and calling it a day. This is about responsible, effective carry. So whether you're just thinking about getting your permit or you've been carrying for a while, these tips are designed to make sure you're ready for anything. We're going to cover everything from choosing the right gear to mastering the mindset you need to stay safe and stay free. We'll break it all down, step by step, so you can walk out the door with confidence. Let's get it. All right, first things first, the hardware. Choosing an everyday carry gun is like picking a car. You wouldn't buy a Hummer to navigate downtown traffic, right? Same goes for your firearm. It's got to fit your life, your body, and your needs. Now, there's a ton of options out there, and everyone's got their favorite. But don't get caught up in the hype. Think about what you can realistically carry comfortably. A full-size Desert Eagle might look cool in the movies, but good luck hiding that under a t-shirt. You're going to want something compact, reliable, and easy to handle. Think Glocks, Smith & Wesson M&Ps, maybe a Sig Sauer P365 if you're looking for something super slim. The point is, it's got to feel good in your hand. Head down to your local range, try out a few different models, see what feels right. And don't sleep on caliber. 9mm is kind of the gold standard for concealed carry. Good stopping power, manageable recoil, and ammo's easier to find. Well, as easy as ammo can be these days. But 40 S&W and 45 ACP are also solid choices. Bottom line, it's your life, your choice. Do your research, find a gun that fits you like a glove, and get comfortable with it. Because when seconds count, you don't want any surprises. You've got your gun, now you need a place to put it. And no, shoving it in your waistband ain't gonna cut it. We're talking about a good, solid holster. It's about safety, security, and accessibility. Ditch the cheap nylon holsters. We're talking Kydex or leather here. Kydex is tough, durable, and molded to your gun. Leather's classic, comfortable, and ages well. Make sure it covers the trigger guard completely. Think about carry position. Inside the waistband, IWB is discreet and comfortable. Outside the waistband, OWB is harder to conceal. Experiment and find what works for you. Invest in a quality holster for your safety. All right, you've got the gear. Now it's time to get serious. Owning a gun doesn't make you a warrior, just like owning a guitar doesn't make you Jimi Hendrix. You gotta put in the work. First and foremost, take a firearms safety class. Seriously, I don't care if you're a former Navy SEAL, everyone can benefit from a refresher. Learn the rules, understand the responsibility, and make sure you're handling that firearm safely. Next up, dry fire practice. This is where the magic happens. Clear your weapon, find a safe direction, and practice your draw. Over and over and over again. Muscle memory is your best friend in a high-stress situation. But don't stop there. Get to the range and put in the live fire reps. Ammo might be expensive, but it's cheaper than a funeral. Practice with your concealed carry setup. Work on your accuracy, your speed, and your reloading. And most importantly, train under stress. Because when the adrenaline's pumping and your heart's racing, that's when you need your skills the most. Find a reputable self-defense course, push yourself outside your comfort zone, and prepare for the worst. Now, let's talk about accessories. Because let's face it, part of the fun of owning a gun is tricking it out, right? But before you go full-on tactical ninja, let's talk about what's actually practical for everyday carry. First up, lights. A weapon-mounted light can be a lifesaver in low-light situations, but it can also add bulk and snag on your clothing. Personally, I always carry a handheld light as well as a weapon-mounted light, but it's a personal choice. Next, sights. If your gun doesn't come with decent sights, upgrade them. Night sights are a good investment, especially if you're carrying in low-light conditions. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Red dot sights. They're all the rage these days, and for good reason. They make target acquisition faster and easier, but they also add bulk and complexity. If you're considering a red dot, make sure you train with it extensively. Finally, magazines. Always carry at least one spare mag, preferably two, and invest in a good quality mag pouch that's comfortable and easy to access. All right, let's talk about a mistake I see way too often: printing and adjusting. Look, I get it. Carrying a concealed weapon can feel weird at first. You're hyper aware of it, and you might be tempted to constantly adjust your clothing or check your holster. Don't do it. It screams, "I'm carrying a gun," to anyone who's paying attention. And trust me, the bad guys are paying attention. The key to successful concealed carry is blending in. That means finding a holster and clothing combination that works for you and sticking with it. Practice your draw, move around, sit down, stand up, make sure everything stays put. And for crying out loud, stop touching your gun in public. It's not a toy, it's a tool. Treat it with respect and keep your hands off it unless you absolutely need it. This is a topic that always sparks debate, but I'm going to keep it real with you. I carry with one in the chamber, always. Why? Because in a self-defense situation, you might not have time to rack the slide. Now, I know some people are scared of carrying with one in the chamber, and that's okay. But if you're going to carry a gun for self-defense, you need to be prepared to use it, and that means having it ready to go at a moment's notice. Modern firearms are designed with safety in mind. As long as you're using a quality holster and practicing good trigger discipline, carrying with one in the chamber is perfectly safe. But if you're still not comfortable with it, that's fine. Just make sure you train extensively to draw and chamber a round quickly and efficiently. All right, let's talk fashion. No, I'm not going to tell you to start rocking a tactical kilt, though if that's your thing, go for it. But what you wear matters when you're carrying a firearm. The goal is to blend in, not stand out. Avoid anything that screams gun guy or tactical operator. Stick with casual, comfortable clothing that conceals your firearm without printing. Loose-fitting shirts, jackets, and sweaters are your friends. Patterns are great for breaking up the outline of your gun. And don't forget about your pants. Make sure they fit comfortably and can support the weight of your gun and holster. And ladies, you've got options too. There are tons of great concealed carry purses, holsters, and clothing lines designed specifically for women. Find what works for you and rock it with confidence. Look, carrying a gun is a huge responsibility. It's not about being a badass or looking cool. It's about protecting yourself and your loved ones. And that means being responsible, respectful, and avoiding trouble whenever possible. Don't go looking for fights. Don't engage in road rage. Don't be that guy who escalates every situation. Your goal is to de-escalate, walk away, and avoid conflict. Remember, your gun is a last resort. Only use it if your life or the lives of others are in imminent danger. And if you do have to use it, be prepared for the legal and emotional consequences. It's not something you ever want to experience, but it's something you need to be prepared for. All right, let's talk about the legal side of things. Because ignorance of the law is no excuse, especially when it comes to firearms. First and foremost, know the laws in your state. Get your concealed carry permit if you live in a state that requires one, understand where you can and can't carry, and stay up to date on any changes in the law. But it doesn't stop there. If you're traveling across state lines, you need to know the laws in every state you're passing through. Reciprocity agreements can be tricky, so do your research. And don't even think about bringing your gun into a gun-free zone. Those signs might as well be neon signs that say, "Criminals welcome." But seriously, avoid those places like the plague. The bottom line is, stay informed, stay legal, and don't let a simple mistake turn you into a criminal. Let's face it, even if you do everything right, things can still go wrong. You could be involved in a self-defense shooting, and even if you're justified, you're going to need a good lawyer. That's where self-defense insurance comes in. Think of it like car insurance, but for your gun. It covers legal fees, court costs, and even potential settlements. And trust me, those costs can add up quickly. There are a few different companies that offer self-defense insurance, so do your research and find one that fits your needs and budget. It's a small price to pay for peace of mind. So, there you have it. My top 10 tips for everyday carry in 2025. Remember, carrying a gun is a huge responsibility, but it's also your right. Educate yourself, train hard, and stay safe out there. And as always, stay frosty, my friends. Keep your head down and your powder dry.